Okay, you can also edit your alignment more technically instead of just grouping it and moving it. And let's go in and let's select the alignment and let's go to the geometry editor. And again, we're provided with this alignment layout tools toolbar like we had earlier when we created the alignment. But now we can use these tools to actually edit the one we have. But we also have this group of tools down here where we can actually edit sub-entities. So let's pick a sub-entity and let's pick this arc right here, this curve right here. And over here in this dialog box, you can see that you can change the length and radius of this arc right here. So if you were to put something in incorrectly, you could change that here. And then here, you can select the alignment grid view. And when you select that, this panoramic window opens up. And you can see the different segments that are included in the alignment, line, curve, line, and the length and radius, direction, station information, delta angle, and chord length associated with each segment. And the ones that are black bolded are ones that you can actually edit within this editor. That might also be handy to you. Now we're going to look at labeling our alignment. And you can see that we had a label set associated with it, and it has major stations, and the minor stations are just little hash marks. And then our geometry points are also labeled. So PC, PT is all that we're really seeing right now. When you select a label, then this label property group or contextual tab shows up, and you can edit the label text for that label. You could flip that label to the other side of the alignment, which I actually like these over on the other side because you can read them, whereas on this one you cannot. You can edit the label group, and our alignment labels shows up, and this is actually the label style associated with different parts of our alignment. So you can select major stations here. So the major station style is we're showing it parallel with the tick mark at increments of 100 feet. Our minor stations are just the tick mark at increments of 50 feet. And then our geometry points are perpendicular to the alignment. You can change this label set here by saying import label set and selecting a different label set. So let's choose all labels and say OK, select apply, and OK. And now you can see that they have changed a little bit here. And now we have our design speed is also showing up on our alignment. It hasn't really changed dramatically because it's still using a basic type of label styles. So you can also reset the label group. Let's change this back to major, minor, and geometry. And you could change here major stations. You could change that to perpendicular with line. Let's say we didn't apply it. Perpendicular with line, and I guess you have to add it. Let's delete that one. And let's add a minor station and add that. Okay, now let's apply it and say OK. Now all our major stations are perpendicular instead of parallel. So you can play with that some if you want. I don't really care how you label it, but I would like to see your PC and your PTs Okay, now I'm going to show you how to label the actual segments, the line and curve segments of this alignment. We've labeled the PCs, PTs, and the stations, but we also want to know the bearings and distances and the line and the curve data. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the alignment, and over on the contextual tab we're going to add labels, and we're just going to add, you can add alignment labels, station labels, station offset, single segment, which would allow us to label the bearing and distance of a line segment or the information on the curve, or we can do multiple segments to label all of the segments along that alignment. So let's do that. It wants us to select the alignment, so we select our alignment, and it's automatically done. And if you want to zoom in, you can see the bearing and distance has been labeled, and you can check that to your construction plan to see if that is accurate, if it's correct. And then you can zoom in over here to look at the curve label and what it appears to look like and say, and then you could edit that by clicking on that label, going to label properties, edit label style. You could change the way that appears, and here there are general curve label styles, and this is specific alignment curve label styles. Or you could edit that alignment and add components to that. So you could add the chord bearing and distance, or the groove curve, or what other information you wish to add. You could do that here. I'm just going to leave it as is. Also know that you can, like in our construction plan, drag this label so that it labels the curve with a leader, and I tend to like those, especially on alignments, to be labeled in that manner. You can see here that this label is blocking out the other labels. You can flip that label to the other side. You can drag this label away from the other alignment information. So just keep in mind, there's lots of things you can do with the labeling, but it's important that you show the labels for those segments to show the line, bearings and distances, and the curve data. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and create highway right-of-way, and we do this by creating an offset alignment. So the way I'm going to do this, you could do it by going to the Modify tab, selecting Alignment, and then selecting Offset Alignment from the Launchpad. But I'm going to show you what might be a little bit simpler. Just select the alignment and then select Offset Alignment from the Launchpad here. Okay, now first thing it wants to know is which alignment are we offsetting from. So make sure you just select the correct one there, and then it gives it a name, and you can change that. And the station range, you can change that from the start of the alignment to the end of the alignment, or you can change it to a particular station. I'm going to go ahead and leave them from start to end. And number of offsets on the left and number of offsets on the right, I'm going to keep those at 1. Incremental offset on the left, we're going to change that to 40 feet. That is the highway right-of-way on the left side, and 40 feet is also the highway right-of-way on the right side. You can associate this with a site. You can change the alignment style here. We're going to keep it at offset. You can change the layer, and I'm going to change this to say offset and then dash star to say State Highway 9. And then you can choose an alignment label set. And I'm going to say no labels for this one. And select OK. And it creates the alignment offset on both sides, each at 40 feet. So now over here in your tool space, you can see that there is an offset alignment for State Highway 9 on the left at 40 feet and State Highway 9 on the right for 40 feet. Okay, so you might recall in our construction plan that there was a widening of the highway right-of-way towards the end of the alignment. I'm going to switch over to that so that we can look at it a little closer. And it's sheet 19, and it's over here. I'm going to zoom in and over. And you can see it's towards the end of this alignment at the station 99 plus 09.194 is the intersection of the section line and the center line. This widening occurs, and it becomes 55 feet on the left side of the alignment and 60 feet on the right side of the alignment. Our alignment, as we've drawn it in, actually ends at this point. So we cannot add an alignment widening widening at the correct station. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and I want you to add one in on your homework assignment. So what you do is go to the tool space, the Prospector tab, and make sure you've got alignment selected and then the offset alignment. And you should see State Highway 9 left is 40 feet, State Highway 9 right is 40 feet. So those are the two offset alignments we created. I'm going to add a widening on the left side, and remember it is 55 feet now. I'm going to right click on that, select Add Widening, and at our command line it says Create Widening Portion as a New Alignment. And we don't, for this purpose, want to create a new alignment. We just want to modify the current one. So I'm going to say no. And now it's asking me to select the start station. And you can see as I move my cursor, it will select a point along the alignment and it lists the station associated with that point where my cursor is. You could also just type it in at the command line if you wanted. I'm going to pick a point on the curve. Now it says to select the end station. Again, you could type that in. I'm going to select this point here. Now enter widening offset. This is where we put in the 55 feet. Now you can see this dialog box comes up and tells you your widening parameters. Offset is 55 feet, and the start and end station, region length, and then it talks about some transitional parameters at the entry and exit. So as you can see from the drawing, we have a transition from the 40-foot right-of-way to the 55-foot right-of-way. And you can modify that transition length and other information as you wish and as the construction plans dictate. Now let's go ahead and add our widening on the right side too. Add widening to the right side, and no, we do not want to create a new alignment. We're going to select our station and our end station, and the offset now is going to be 60 feet, and now that has been created. And again, here's all the widening parameters that you can look at and adjust if you wish. So there is our alignment and our right-of-way and their widening.